What's up? Well, hello everyone on every platform. How you doing? Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast ready to go live. It is now 1:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are ready and steady and ready to give you the best of what we've got in heart, mind, and soul, and body, and wisdom, and love, and compassion, and kindness. We're ready to give to you all that we've got. Thank you for joining us, whether you're listening to this actively or passively online, in your car, in bed, wherever you are. Feeding your brain. Let's go.
Alrighty, press and record on this episode in 3, 2, 1.
Leaders and healers, gamers and claimers, ladies and gentlemen from around the universe, welcome to the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. I am your host, Anthony Cheam, life coach, speaker, author, trainer, friend to you, ready to give you another crazy great episode of the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. This is actually a podcast where we help you claim your power, clarify your purpose, and cultivate your deepest, widest, and highest passions possible so you can ultimately show up as a better, best, upgraded, updated version of yourself, so you can ultimately inspire others to be the better, best, and updated and upgraded best version of themselves, so we can ultimately live in cohesiveness and togetherness and love and compassion and show the world our greatest skills and genius and share it massively. Thank you for joining us. What's up, Kim? How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very, very good. Just moved today, so that's a lot of fun.
Oh, congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm really excited. What did you say the name of this podcast was? I'm so sorry.
This is the Master Life Lesson number 10. Today is a brand new day. Today's
brand new day. Yeah, that's it. Okay, perfect. No, I knew it because you messaged to me earlier. I just totally forgot. Yes, I'm actually really excited for this episode because every time I'm in a dark place, I definitely am looking forward to tomorrow is a new day. And I get that a lot. A lot of people are like, don't worry, man, tomorrow is a new day, and I look forward to mornings. A lot of people hate mornings, but there's something about waking up in the morning and knowing that, today is a new day. I'm going to have a brand new meal. I'm going to have brand new conversations. I'm going to have another chance to say thank you to people that I didn't say to yesterday, I love this topic, and it is one of the biggest things in my life that has given me like the level of optimism I do have during the tough times. So looking forward to it. Let's get into it.
All right. First of all, I want to say hi to Holly Beaumont on Instagram. How you doing? Thank you for joining us on Instagram. I can't see the other people that are joining on any other feeds and platforms, but I can see it directly from my phone being streamed. So thank you for joining us, Holly. How you doing? I'm ready to serve you now. You know what? When it comes to today, what I really mean by that is now. Now is a brand new and fresh moment. Yesterday did end yesterday. There's no use in, as I heard one guy say, there's no use in watering last year's plants or last night's plants. There's nothing you can do about the past. As it says, I remember reading a long time ago, and I think in elementary school, it says yesterday is, or the history is, the past is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today's a gift. That is why we call it the present. It is a full blown spiritual experience of this moment now, and how you use it is really entirely up to you. Are you stuck in? Here's a great thing. What I've learned about the psychology of the mind and the neurology of the mind. The brain, the left side, especially the left side of the brain, when it's sort of in its monkey mind or its beta crazy, worry, fearful, anxious states, it either goes into the future, worries about the future, or worries about the past. It cannot fathom the present moment, which is why mindfulness is such a strong and powerful strategic approach to building fulfillment and adding the joy to this moment now, because it makes you aware of this moment now. And there's another saying that says something along the lines of, yesterday was a canceled check. Tomorrow's a promissory note. Today's the only cash you have, so spend it wisely. So today is the only cash you have. Yesterday was a canceled check. Tomorrow is a promissory note that may never come. Spend the cash wisely. This moment now is the greatest gift that you have. So whatever, I don't care if you've failed a million times in a row. Today is a millionth time that you can finally correct it. There's been so many people that I know, that I've read about, that I've personally met, that have inspired me out of overcoming an addiction. They've had addiction to drugs or alcohol for decades, and only to finally overcome it after decades of plaguing their life. And they come out so much more spiritually cleansed and loving and pure and patient and gentle on themselves and other people around them. You might have remembered that book by James Fry, a million little pieces. And for the people that do remember that book who've never read it, but he got slandered and completely criticized by Oprah and all these other people because there's a few things in there that he didn't clarify. And if you were to just basically at the beginning of the book just clarify, I changed a few stories, a few names just for privacy or purposes, then it wouldn't have been so bad and had such negative response to his story. But his story was true. I mean, he full-blown alcoholic, full-blown drug addict, and left, I think, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, maybe days from death or weeks from death. And what he did was, rather than, go into AA or one of these programs, which are still, I know a ton of people in AA that have basically found so much solitude and have broken free from this addiction as a result of being in AA or any of these 12-step programs. But he decided not to do that. He decided to read the Tao Te Ching every single day. And he practiced the principles and the strategies that 2,500-year-old book taught him. And he basically lived it, breathed it, studied it immensely, intensely every day. And he was able to break free of his addiction. And the man is now, I don't know where he is right now, but from the stories I've heard, he's helped a lot of people. He has basically no ego whatsoever. His whole life is all about serving and giving his life over to people that are struggling like he did, because he's gone through tough times. And which I tell a lot of people, a lot of teenagers that I work with, I have a lot more. And I'm not better than anybody, but I have to say that based on my history and the things that I've gone through, the people that know my history, I have a lot more sort of influence because my story is raw. It's tough. It was, I went through some tough times personally, professionally, with relationships, losing my parents, losing some of my best friend, having tough times in school and finding my identity, almost committing suicide a few times. So I understand what it feels like to have no purpose. But what I'm getting at is this. What I'm saying is this. Regardless of how many times you failed, regardless of how many times you screwed up, there's always this moment now to correct it. Even the moment that you just passed, telling you that's past. It's flittering. It's like wind or water. You try and grasp the wind or the water. And the more you grasp it, the more it'll lose you. That is this moment now. And it's happening now. So for the people that are listening to this podcast, the people that are listening to the show, here's what I want you to get is this. No matter what's happened in the past, no matter about your future, you have the power to change it now. That is the power of this moment. You have the power to choose something different. You have the power to act in a different way. You have the power to choose a different attitude, to think a different way, to read a different book, to think of or see yourself differently or see your future differently and make the impact now. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one small step. Take that one small step and take it in this moment now, wherever you may be. If you're in your car, if you're sitting at home and you're listening to this, whatever you've been kind of procrastinating on, or just say, I'll leave it till tomorrow. Take that action now, and you'll feel better about yourself knowing that this moment now, by the way, the acronym for NOW is no other way. No other way. No other way but now. If you think about the future, when do you do it? Now. When you think about the past, when do you do it? Now. Do it now. So if there's a practice I would suggest for each and every one to start studying and to practice on a daily basis, it is mindfulness or meditation, any form of meditation. You can do Qi or yoga, exercise. You can use dancing as a form of mindfulness or meditation. You can use this podcast as a form of meditation. You can use sitting in front of the TV and just being mindful of your body as it's relaxing, as you watch yourself and notice yourself watching the TV, and just being mindful of this moment, mindful of the sensations in your body, mindful of the emotions that you're feeling, mindful of the person that's in front of you. And that's a big problem these days, is being totally present with the people that we care about the most, being with them wholeheartedly, mind, body, soul, whether you're out to dinner with them, whether you're out for a walk. I often tell people, listen, one of the best things you can do, best gifts you can give yourself, is turn off all electronics for a period of 1 hour or 15 or 20 minutes, whatever it is. Turn it off and be with that person for that 15, 20 minutes. You wouldn't believe the amount of just the freedom that you get from actually doing that. It's absolutely breathtaking, because we're so controlled by our devices. We're in such a reactive mode. Let's step away from a reactive mode, and appreciate this moment as it is right now. What's up, Cam? What do you think about that, man? Any insights to include in that, man?
Yeah, I love it. And if more people really understood that, like, I don't know if anybody else agrees, but has anybody had a moment where, like, things are so vivid and so surreal, you're not hungry, you're not tired, you don't desire anything, you're just like in the moment 100%. And Wayne Dyer calls it inspiration. Call it whatever you will, but it's like just that moment where you are just totally living to the fullest. It could be literally a conversation with somebody. Could be two people in a room just talking about the universe, and that in itself pumps you up and you're just like totally zoned into what's going on. But at those moments, I sort of just feel like, wow, everything in my life has taken place here, like in this place. And all of a sudden, I'm finally taking notice of how amazing it is, of how powerful each and every moment is. It really does feel infinite. It feels like my life's never going to end.
Yes.
Obviously, realistically, Cam won't live forever, but it's really nice to like think about that. Like, if you could just place yourself in the present moment 100%, rather than being that bitter old person who's like, yeah, your life flies by and you're 40 and you're overweight and you hate your life and blah, 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 blah. You know, I think at that point, if you were really immersed in the present moment, you don't have to have a life that just flies by full of regrets and blah, blah, blah. You have a full life that you could look back on and be like kind of excited to finally leave this place. You're like, I lived it. We're good. And you leave satisfied rather than leaving like most people do, you know, like totally wanting something different, you know? Really immersing yourself in the present moment is the key for sure.
Well, it's really the key of peace and power. Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, that was why that was such a hit for so many people, because it was so simplistic and so real and raw for people. Like, wow, it's in this moment. It's now. If you suffer from addictions to food or alcohol or drugs or whatever addiction, or to your phone or technology, and these days millennials are just addicted to their phones, right? And they're studying the brain. They're basically saying that it's the same addictive behavior that's happening, that dopamine release that you get from drinking alcohol or drugs that gets you out of stress, and it's having the same effects as those substances. And we may not think it's that bad, but it's having negative effects on our society. Suicide rates are at its highest. So being able to, for teenagers anyway, being able to immerse ourselves in the moment and say, okay, I often say to people, what's the most important meal of the day? And they go, breakfast. I say, wrong. The most important meal is the one you're eating now. Who's the most important person you're with? The person you're with now. What's the most important time of your life? The time is now. This moment now is the most important. You're only living it in this moment, but your brain tends to just either jump to the future or go into the past or whatever it might be. And you're never able to live in this moment. And as you know, was it Milton's work, Paradise Lost? He said, one of his great lines in his book, he said, the mind is of itself, and it can either make a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven. And I truly believe that we oftentimes, us human beings, we will always make a hell of out of heaven by either wanting this moment to be different, or wanting our future to be different, or worrying about the future, or overemphasizing the past that we cannot change. And the only way to change our future is to change what we're doing in this moment, right? And how we interpret this moment, the things we do in this moment, and how we're living in this moment. It's not how long you live, it's how you're living, and how you're living this moment is going to determine the quality of your life. And I truly, truly believe that. And I oftentimes have to catch myself, because I'm an achiever in many cases. I always want to achieve. I always want to learn. I always want to grow. I always want to share. I always want to create and design and produce and do different things with my life. And I'm always looking towards the future, never really appreciating this moment. And I always have to catch myself. Oh, there goes my mind again. And then I have to bring my body, my mind, my breath, my awareness of my breath back into this moment. So if you have trouble doing that, learn meditation, learn mindfulness, learn to be in take Tai Chi classes, because it slows everything down. I remember the very first time I tried Tai Chi, and the movements are very, very slow and just in the moment, and you want to speed up. You're left with that ego, the inner cynic just wants to speed things up, especially if you're a millennial and you just want to go fast, immediate, instant gratification, the lack of patience that's in our society. And we want things now. I mean, I remember we talk about instant gratification. You know, you can order something online, press it, and have it there at your house that day without you doing anything. You can go to a movie, or before, when we had to rent movies at Blockbuster or whatever it might be. Now you can just go in front of your TV, press the button and go, boom, it's right there. And so we're not learning to just appreciate being in the moment, the process. As I heard one say, it's happiness. There's no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. And the way is to be as much in the present moment now. So if you have an addiction, as an example, to food or drugs, how can you then put yourself in this moment for the next few moments and just be here rather than go, oh my God, quitting alcohol for the next 40 years is going to be so hard, or quitting drugs for the, oh, that's too hard. Of course, just even having that thought of quitting drugs or alcohol or whatever or not binging on excessive amounts of calories, just thinking about that will drive you to that behavior itself. So just be in this moment, go, for the next few moments, I'm going to just sit with these feelings, sit with the tension, enter the hallway of confusion and tension, and sit here just for a few moments. And then just for a few moments, just as you release that tension, as you live with that tension, as you're in that moment, as you focus on your breath, as you just release that tension, that leaves that opening to make a brighter, more powerful decision in the moment. And then you can give yourself compassion and gratitude for just sitting in those moments for the next few minutes without acting and being a victim of your behaviors or going on autopilot towards overeating or over drinking or over stimulating yourself, just being in the moment. And I can tell you, if there is a tangible benefit from doing this, all I can say is you'll be more happy. You'll have so much more joy without any reason. You'll just find yourself loving the moment just because it's the moment, just because you're alive. And oftentimes I have to catch myself and just be reminded that my heart is beating, and it's beating for me. To allow me to speak to you on this podcast, that in and of itself, knowing that my heart is beating so that I may stay alive, it's electrical impulses, beating 100,000 times a day, and just boom, 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 and just being aware of that beat and going, wow, whatever's beating my heart is loving me into this moment, is beating my heart into this moment, it's breathing me into this moment, and it gives me life. Am I going to destroy my life just because I'm focused on, because the person at the store didn't say thank you, or the person I opened the door for didn't say thank you for me opening that, or the person didn't say please? I don't want to fill my life with that hate and anger and egregious ways of thinking, and take me out of this amazing moment. And that doesn't mean that it's some airy fairy thought of, hey, everything's fine, everything is good. No, sometimes not everything's going to be fine. But you know what? To come up with solutions, it's good to be present with the problems, present with the tension, present with the challenges that are happening in life right now as they are. And as you're present with them, write that problem down, and then go to work to make those solutions, create some solutions, get some help, whatever it might be. But take it step by step, one small step. You don't climb Mount Everest by taking this one giant leap. You climb Mount Everest by making the decision to climb Mount Everest, and then you go to work on taking those steps to train for it, but you take them in the moment now. So I hope you guys got a lot from this amazing podcast, and it's such an absolute pleasure to be a part of this podcast and have Cameron help me in this pod on my quest, my journey to be in this moment now, to serve you every single podcast, and the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. I love you guys. If you like this podcast, comment, share it, like it, ask questions. I'm here to help you. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to give you the best of what I've learned so far on this planet, from day to day, from moment to moment, from now to the next now. So to your continued upgrade and evolution, live it up with power, purpose, and passion. God bless, guys.